The National Reading Panel report has identified 5 essential elements of reading instruction. We are going to examine the big 5, and here they are, knowing that they are still 5 pillars short. So we'll look at the other 5 pillars as well. So let's unpack these. Phonemic awareness, yes, the ability to hear sounds within words or to manipulate words or to rhyme. Now, the importance of this is correlational, not causal, meaning that students, young students with high phonemic awareness achieved more. But this could have been a result of early exposure to books, to words, to other variables. We cannot say that phonemic awareness caused reading achievement, but it's correlational. It correlates with reading achievement. It should be part of emergent literacy, but discontinued when students are comfortably reading at the first grade level. Thus said, some students who have severe reading disability or English language learners may benefit from hybrid phonics, phonemic hybrid activities, and these are described in my book. But very, very rarely, almost never, maybe 0.001%, should you have middle school or high school students doing phonemic awareness activities. Serves no purpose. It doesn't help them create meaning with print. Phonics, yes, letter sound association. Everyone agrees that phonics should be part of reading instruction. The varying views on this are not the what of phonics. It is the how and how much phonics instruction. Reading is not sounding out words. It is creating meaning with print. Letters and letter sounds are meaningless in of themselves. Phonics, yes, very, very important, but is one of 6 ways to identify words, and you see the 6 there. Why would you give 1/6 of a reading education and use only phonics to help children read? Fluency, the other part, we need to help children to develop the ability to process the text automatically. Automaticity is that word. It frees up space in short-term memory so you can focus on meaning, creating meaning, which is reading, instead of individual letters. You can hold 7 letters in short-term memory or 7 ideas or words. Words and ideas create more meaning than individual letters or words. So some strategies: reading volume, yes. Voluntary reading, yes. Repeated reading activities, there's a bunch of them. Scaffolded oral reading, and even choral reading or echo reading can be used here. Vocabulary is word knowledge. Now, this is the strongest predictor of reading achievement for preschool and kindergarten students. Effective strategies, of course, are wide reading again, but exposure to words and concepts. Words are best learned in the context of something. Concept learning and vocabulary learning go hand in hand. And part of our jobs as teachers is to add depth and dimension to word knowledge. They may know it, but they don't know it in a lot of contexts. Of little use, vocabulary worksheets are almost useless, as are writing the definitions to words. Useless. Comprehension, how to create meaning with text. Now, this is severely under-taught in most elementary classrooms, mostly focus on word identification and other reading sub-skills. Comprehension involves thinking. We can enhance comprehension by enhancing thinking. So we teach the process, the cognitive process, to develop the skill, thinking and comprehending, so we do it automatically. Of little use are comprehension worksheets. They tend to be simply remembering worksheets. Of much use is teaching cognitive processes to use as pre, during, and post-reading activities. And you see 18 cognitive processes there that have been identified with effective comprehension. For expository text, we need to teach study, skill, strategies, and we do address expository text differently than narrative text. Now here are the 5 on the left side, and the right side are the 5 they forgot. Let's take a look at these. Concepts of print, birth through age 3 or 4. This is a letter. It stands for a sound. You put them together to create words, all right? And you read from left to right. We get students thinking, or young children thinking about the book. Word identification. There are 6 ways to identify words, as we said before. We need to teach strategies to develop all 6. And you see them there. So part of your reading instruction are both strategies and activities to develop all 6 of these word identification. Now a cueing system are parts of the brain that work together to recognize a word during the act of reading. It cues the brain as to what that word might be. There are 3 phonological letter sounds. We are familiar with that. But also we use semantics or context to understand or to identify words, and syntax, grammar, and word order. Of those 3, the phonological cueing system is the least efficient. The semantic cueing system is the most efficient. We need to teach and develop and include activities that develop all 3 of these cueing systems. The skills-based or phonics-based reading systems, or reading approaches, develop only one. We need to develop all 3. Emotion and motivation. We think and emote with the same brain. It's silly to think that they wouldn't affect each other. Now there are 6 basic emotions. Fear and its derivation, stress and anxiety, is one of the 6 basic emotions. Struggling readers deal with fear, stress, and anxiety. That fight or flight mechanism releases those 3 major stress hormones: adrenaline, cortisol, norepinephrine. It affects the frontal lobes. Fear and stress affects perception, attention, memory, and cognitive functioning, all that are needed to learn how to create meaning with print. As well, contiguity. Reading becomes paired with a stressful negative experience. So, of course, students hate reading or don't want to do it for pleasure. And you'll see why that's important. But a teacher's number 1 job is to help children fall in love with books. They can't do that if they're feeling stress and anxiety and have nothing good to read. The number 2 job is to not frustrate or humiliate students. Make sure that reading instruction and books are within their zone of proximal development. They can do it with scaffolding support and help. Good books, part 9, literature reading volume. Reading volume has been has a positive impact to comprehension, fluency, word identification, vocabulary, conceptual knowledge. So our reading class should be thought of as reading practice. 70 to 80% students should be reading books that they select that are at their independent level or below. Only 20 to 30% should be skills instruction. Now think about this. You get better at any skill with practice. You cannot direct instruction your way into reading competence for your students. We need practice, 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 like learning to play the piano or learning a skill or a sport of anything. A little skills instruction, but a lot of practice. And then writing. The reading-writing connection has been firmly established, and I'll show you some of these in the next slide. Writing helps strengthen the letter-sound relationship and is one of the most effective strategies to develop the syntactic cueing system. That's grammar and word order. Here are some of the resources I used. You can stop the video and look at those if you want. Effective reading instruction. Not the big 5, but the big 10 should be included in any reading curriculum or program.